Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. Today it looks like we've got a standoff. This was another game that we filmed at SCG Hartford, and man did it feel tense, as if any moment it felt like the game could have taken a drastic turn. Also, MTG Vegas is only a few weeks away, so if you plan on attending, let me know, as I'll be recording games all weekend long. But starting us off today is Loots on Najeela. This is a 5-color thrasios consultation list that backdoors into an infinite creatures and combats combo with Najeela, who even just left alone can amass a horde of warriors to take their opponents out. Next up is Hidden on Baylan. This is Naya tokens, and while Dockside is gone, there are still plenty of token producers that let you make mana, draw cards, or quickly close the game out. In the third spot we have Gabe on Marchesa. This is a Grixis combo control list, looking to draw a whole bunch of cards by doing what any Grixis deck wants to do: mess with your opponents. And bringing up the rear is Crow on Rakdos the Muscle. This deck is Rakdos Sackstorm, because who doesn't want to draw cards off of Culling the Weak, or even steal a Vamp Tutor from another player.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
Loot starts off the game with a tapped breeding pool. Hidden has a Windswept Heath, which he cracks for an untapped Temple Garden, tapping the land for a Soul Ring, although he's not done yet as he casts an Arcane Signet into a Ragavan. Gabe starts off his turn with a Mox Opal and a Verdant Catacombs. Crow has a Blazemire Verge, but passes it there. Loots plays and cracks a Misty for Savannah, tapping out to cast a Dranith Magistrate.
Damn.
Yeah, I was making
I
sure.
was like, I was actually going to be able to cast my commander.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Pass.
Hidden has a Marsh Flats as land for turn and cracks it to grab out a Plateau, with Gabe also cracking his Verdant to save on time, grabbing out an Underground Sea. Hidden then for 3 casts a Rosy Cotton, who resolves and makes a food off the ETB, which triggers Rosie to add a counter to the monkey. Hidden then sends the beefy monkey at Loots for 3, exiling a Veil of Summer off the top, gaining a treasure, and once again triggering Rosie to grow the monkey. Gabe plays out a Flooded Strand, cracking the fetch for a Volcanic, and then tapping out for an Arcane Signet of his own. Crow has an untapped Luxury Suite and casts a Reckless Handling. He finds an Underworld Cookbook.
I'm not gonna let someone else out chef me. I gotta bring some heat.
With Crow then randomly discarding a Putrid Goblin and passing it there. Loots plays out a Taiga, casts his commander, and also passes it there. Hidden has a Wooded Foothills as land and cracks the land for a basic forest. Hidden then casts an Abtel Adrian, who resolves, exiling a Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Treasure, and Food Token, gaining him 4 soldiers and 4 Rosie triggers. He puts 2 counters on the monkey, and then a counter on 2 of his 1/1 soldiers. Hidden then turns a 6-power Ragavan at Loots, who exiles a Psychrift off the top, making another treasure and growing another soldier. Gabe has a Talon Gates as land and phases out the Dranith. Gabe then follows that up with a Curse Totem and gets Metalcraft online, letting him tap out for his commander Marchesa. Crow plays out a Scalding Tarn and then casts his Cookbook. He then discards a land to make a food token, but unfortunately can't cast his commander as he passes it there. Loots untaps and his Dranith phases back in. He plays out a Scrub land and heads to combat, sending Najeela and the newly created warrior at Crow, who takes the hit, with Loots on his second main dropping a Smothering Tithe. But this gets Gabe into action as he fears Guardianships it.
Why?
It's Smothering Tithe.
Yeah, but I need the man to go fix this.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I will fix it.
When? After I'm dead?
After you're dead.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That's one of the fixes for him.
I don't need to do it after you're dead, though. I can do it sooner than that, hopefully.
Pass.
Hopefully.
Hidden plays out an Emergence Zone and then heads to combat. And while Loots originally was thinking about blocking with the Dranith to relieve the heat, after Hidden turns most of his board sideways at him, he decides to just take the damage instead. Loots then takes 16 as he exiles a Tundra, and Hidden grows an untapped soldier. Gabe on his turn casts a spatial binding and passes. Crow has a polluted delta as land and cracks both of his fetches. He finds a swamp and a mountain, which he then taps both of his lands to crack his food, gaining him 3 life. And while this might seem a bit strange, he then follows all his up with a Dargo for a dramatically reduced price. Finally, ending his turn, cookbooking away a gemstone mine for another food.
I have been bullied so much.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna pass turn.
Lutz plays out a wooded foothills, cracking the land for a bayou, and goes into the tank.
If I may
It's
suggest
tapped,
some politicking,
right?
if you swing to Draenif at me, I'll block with Dargo, it dies. That would incentivize no swings at you,
I don't politic.
but he'll be swinged.
Rick is not. Rick hate politics.
It's a
Unfortunately.
stone wall.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Let me just bring out my tax returns.
Yeah. Though I think Rick is wouldn't take that anyway because Steve has already made the proposition that he's probably not going to be swinging at Rick as much.
I'm going to play as if I didn't hear that as well.
Lutz then casts an Eldritch Evolution, sacrificing his warrior. The tutor is good as he finds a Thassa's Oracle onto the battlefield. Responding to the ETB, he casts a Demonic Consult, to which Gabe responds by paying a life to the Spatial Binding, targeting Dargo. This is a crime, as he pays 1 to pseudo sleight of hand with Marchesa. Gabe will bin a Burgie, as Gabe then swan songs the consult. Once again, he crimes again, as he pays 1 to Marchesa again, binning a Chromox. Lutz will then gain a bird, and then uses the Thassa ETB to keep 1 on top. Hidden starts off his turn with a Mana Vault, following that up with a Twin Flame on his Abdel. Hidden will get a token copy of the creature, he'll get the ETB trigger and a Rosie trigger. But before those resolves, he will sacrifice his original due to the legend rule. His original Abdel will then return all of his rocks to the battlefield, Rosie will then grow a soldier, and Hidden will float a red and a colorless off his artifacts, before exiling them due to the Abdel trigger. All in all, making 5 more soldiers and 5 more Rosie triggers, which will grow his original soldiers to be 4/4s. Hidden then will move to combat, sending 18 at Gabe.
I have no idea why my brain went to mush. For some reason, I thought I just got it in clone, so I never attacked with Adrian that turn, and the whole table totally forgot about the whole exile at end step. So yeah, feel free to roast me in the comments.
Gabe takes the hit and exiles a mental misstep off the top, with Hidden then using Rosie to grow one of his 1/1s. Gabe starts off his turn with a Soul Ring. He then pays a life to target the Thassas and pays 1 for Marchesa. He bins an offer you can't refuse and then pays another life to target Rosie. He pays with the other Soul Ring mana and this time bins a Marsh Flats. He then plays out a Badlands and continues to dig as he targets Ragavan and Marchesa's once again. He pitches a Talisman of Dominance, but ends his turn there. Crow shocks in a Blood Crypt, and for 3 casts an Imperial Recruiter. He finds a Forsaken Miner, and then ends his turn casting the creature. Lutz plays out a Shifting Woodlands and Demonic Tutors. He finds a card to hand, and then casts a Gornog. He then heads to combat, and sends both Najeela and Gornog at Gabe, with Gornog making Marchesa a coward on attack. He gains 2 warriors off the attack as well.
Alright.
If you kill Gornog, you can then block Najeela.
I can't block. Oh, I mean, yeah.
If you kill Gornog,
If you kill,
yeah, you can.
Gornog, yeah.
You would be able to do
Well, if I get rid of this Janet, we just kill him.
Not.
Because
I'm not gonna make that deal
Alright.
specifically.
will you not kill me if I use this?
Because that's the issue, is that I feel like I still have to take both of you out, kind of thing.
that. I put him in range so that you can.
So that you're just gonna throw the game to Steve.
No. I think if Steve kills us, he wins.
It's also possible.
And that's why I made this play. You got to play the standoff position. It's like Steve still wants to win and he's playing to win, and I know that.
Yeah.
Even if he kills both of you, both of us,
Then
he's in a bad position.
over there.
Yeah.
So
maybe he doesn't kill us.
So I'm giving him the option of choosing second place or not.
Well,
Or he just
Because
Doesn't
I'm
take
playing to
Unless he
win,
thinks
it's
he can.
possible that like I might be able to keep you
It's-
so low. Because not only that, he has a 7-5. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
also
it's
has
possible.
a 7-5.
It's possible.
I don't know. I'll bank on Steve not killing me, because I think he needs me to stop whatever's going on over here, because he's Naya and he's off
Maybe.
cards.
with Gabe choosing to take 10. Hidden then heads to his turn and isn't sure how to break the standoff. So, looking for inspiration, he casts an Imperial Recruiter of his own and goes looking. He ends up finding a Basking Brood Scale and then heads to combat. Hidden decides to send 2 4/4s and a 2/2 at Gabe, and the rest at Lutz. Gabe will block a 2/2 with Marchesa, and Lutz blocks a Ragavan and a 4/4. But before damage, Gabe casts a Sink into Stupor on the 4/4, heading his way. This is a crime, as Gabe then taps out to pay for the Marchesa trigger, binning Heuristic Study. With Hidden then Red Elemental blasting the Sink, to which Gabe Force of Wills it, pitching a Siphon Insight. The blast is countered and damage happens, dropping Gabe to 1 and Lutz to 3. Gabe then untaps and casts a Fire Covenant, not paying any life. There is a whole bunch of crime triggers on the stack, as Gabe then starts digging, paying 3 times. He bins a Pact of Negation, Praetor's Grasp, and a Rite of Flame, with him then for 2 casting a Thassa's Oracle into a Demonic Consult, to exile his library and win him the game.
Game review. Man, sorry for the misplay. I totally forgot the Abdel. And if I had known, my plan would have been different, as I would have gotten my mana rocks back. That would have let me on my last turn take Gabe out entirely to not worry about counter magic, then go for the Brood Scale line, which still probably would have gotten Crow to take out Lutz, as on his turn, he certainly wasn't going to be able to combo out without his commander. But this really was a cool game, and the tension of how to manage both Lutz and Gabe was really tough. Thanks to everyone that joined for the game, and before everyone leaves, I want to thank our special Patreon members, Slyfox and Holy Septic, for their support of the channel, along with all of our other Patreon supporters as well. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.